Welcome Motivation Sunday. Welcome Motivation Sunday.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is beautiful outside 2026. This is January 2026. In most of the country, we're sitting here trying to stay warm. Oh, let me get back onto my show. Welcome to the Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. This show was originally created from the more than 300 motivational quotes that I had created for the contents of my books. But it's the nice thing when you're surrounded by great people like Romel Larnaz, Sister Vanessa, Sister PJ, Sister Denise, and Brother Naheem Garcia. We thought, were these quotes were just, words that just laid there on a page, or were there conversations to be had? So we got together and we created this show. Each week, someone brings in a quote that they've been sitting with for a while. They throw it out based on interpretation and perspective. We talk about this quote. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, we start on time. So I'm just curious of how this quote lands on everyone else. So, I will tell you right now, snuggle up with the partner that you're watching this with, and let me see what the voice of our show today has to say. Naheem, will you bring us the quote for today?
Yes, control over my circumstances is but of the first importance to me. Without that control, or with that control in someone else's hands, I am forever insecure, doomed to the whim and the caprice of the man in control.
I know people are shaking their heads because right now we're living in a time where many people feel powerless financially, emotionally,
Mhm.
socially, and spiritually. This quote speaks about the deep human need for agency. When we allow others to control our circumstances, we live uncertainly and in fear. And in today's world, I'm going to tell you, some of us, when Romel and I were talking about opening up our door, and people are starting to experience what people of color experience every single day, not knowing if we're going to come home, not knowing how we're going to get to work, not knowing, and we get the wrong law enforcement officer with a bad attitude, and how our freedom and our liberty. So right now, reclaiming our control over our mindset, our habits, our health, and the direction of our own domain. It's about dignity and survival. So I'm going to turn this over to Ramel because I know he's been sitting with this quote for quite some time. Ramel, how's this quote land on you? And thank you for bringing this, brother.
Thank you. I read this quote approximately 30 years ago and remember it. It's not a small quote, and I remember it verbatim because it describes what I feel and what I felt every day of my life in this skin. Um, and knowing that that made a difference in what happens outside of my house. So, um, just understanding that there's always an element that that seeks to control us, whether it's a created concept or a construct. Um, there's a force that's out there that at one point we couldn't describe. We called it they or them. Um, and as we start to live this life a little bit longer, they and them start having names. And then we realize those individuals with these particular names or particular groups that set into place what happens on a daily basis, whether it's politics, whether it's, well, it's my opinion. But the quote resonates with me because I've always struggled to be in control. Because I think about purpose and what my life purpose is. And I've thought about that at a very young age. Why am I here and what should I do? But I know that I'm already born into something that is in motion that I have to try to get up to speed with. And in that living this life, I started to see a common denominator. And I'm like, wow, I need to have control over me. I need to make sure that I navigate this life. And if I bring a life into this world, I have to be able to give that life instruction on how to navigate to as well. So the quote resonates with me deeply. It's my experience. And if someone were to ask how it felt to be me or to be someone conscious um, and aboriginal to this planet, um, that seems like an appropriate description of the circumstance that's going on right now.
Oh, you know, personal control, it is the foundation of our own confidence. And when you look at it and asking someone what it feels like to be you, that's a hard pill to swallow because no one can feel like you but you. But then again, when circumstances provides the opportunity for others to be mishandled, misunderstood, mistreated, overlooked, excused, all of a sudden we're all walking in the same pair of shoes. So, Romel, I want to thank you for bringing that quote in for us today. I know this is for our panel. This quote is going to be a little heavy. So it's like, we're all thinking, don't call on me next, who's next, whatever. But I know I've got so many highly educated people on this show um, that normally I would call Denise, but I'm going to go directly to Vanessa over here. Let's see because she's probably the only person sitting on this panel that looks out her window and she sees a sunset, the beach and everything else, and the rest of us just see snow. So, Vanessa, how does this quote land on you?
Grand rising, grand riches, grand love. Yes, it is a beautiful day here on the
I'll
12th.
stop bragging. Just get to the quote.
Sorry. So, wow, this quote is quite profound on so many levels for me. Control. Yeah, we need to have control of our own narrative. When we have control, is it really control or are you truly surrendering? I have given my life to God and He's controlling everything. And let me tell you, it has been beautiful. I've gone through this roller coaster various times where I believe that I've given control to Him, I've surrendered to Him. But did I really, or was it just for a time, a season? Sorry, my little ones have arisen. And I just want to emphasize on the good because I can go into the negative. And with this year, this is a year of winning. I'm just releasing all that because when the man, whomever, my family I gave them the control, they were winning. This is the year I and I've given my life to God and He's controlling. He plays me so beautifully because He puts me exactly where I'm supposed to be at the right time. sometimes I literally am on my way here and then I'm like, wait a minute, turn left or right or left. And people are like, how do you go here to here to here to there? They're like, I'm like, well, I'm a butterfly. That's what my name means. I go where the wind controls me to go, you know? And I don't want, the only person I want to be my man is God. With that, I give it to whoever is next. And thank you for including me on this beautiful podcast. I just have to give thanks to each one of you because each one of you have been impactful to my life. So thank you and have a beautiful spiritual Sunday. Cheers.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most wonderful things about this podcast, Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends, is that each and every last one of us are going through something. We're not in this world alone, and we can't do what we do every single day alone. But I can tell you from listening to Sister Vanessa's interpretation of this quote, I want you, as our listeners, to understand self mastery is the real power. Taking ownership, that is your real power over your time, your peace, your direction, and giving yourself up to a higher power. There's goes control. I'm going to ask Brother Naheem, for those of us listeners that just crawled out of their nice warm bed and realized, oh, I was running late for Motivational Sundays and just tuned in. Brother Naheem, will you give us the quote one more time before we allow Sister PJ to go ahead and give her interpretation of this quote? The voice of our show, Naheem.
Control over our circumstances is but of first importance to me. Without that control, or with that control in someone else's hands, I am forever insecure, doomed to the whim and practice of the man in control.
Whim and caprice.
All right, PJ.
Unmute. Okay. Oh, tough one. Usually, when I read one of the quotes on Sunday morning, I feel uplifted. This one just made me sad. I might make myself cry here. But then I thought, no, we're going to turn this around. So, what struck me about this quote was that it felt less about control and more about fear and pain. Many times, the need for control comes from broken trust. And that's when our deepest fears rise to the surface. Spiritually, we're taught to just let go and let God, but surrender can be scary, especially when the world has not been kind to us. So instead of letting go, we try to hold on tighter. Then over time, our faith erodes. Then we get trapped in what is essentially an illusion, not truth. The belief that safety comes from control. In reality, we have no control over anything except our own mind. So when we surrender and align with truth, with God, the universe tends to take care of the details in ways we never could have. So when I hear this quote, I hear someone longing for safety. What Mr. Jackson may have needed wasn't more control, but a Jesus take the wheel moment. If he had been willing to take that leap of faith, with the grace and mercy he received, he may have felt the security he longed for. The end.
PJ, right
Yes.
now, let me bend over. Oh, my back is so tight as I pick up the mic as you just dropped it. No tissues needed. in this conversation. You're talking about someone saying what they're actually saying. Mindset, PJ. Mindset determines your circumstances. We're either prisoners or we're freedom fighters of our thoughts, our actions, and our presence. And thank you so much for delivering such a wonderful interpretation on that. Um, it's wonder. You know, I heard someone ask, um, what makes a woman special? And I heard so many women answer this question. Then I heard a man's interpretation that said, what makes a woman special? And this is the reason why I'm going over to our educator on here. What makes a woman, and what makes her special? And looking at this quote is how she thinks. Her ability to think. And that's the world. That's the reason why I look at my window every single day. I see hope. It's the reason why I use the acronym, helping other people every single day. It's because I love the way my mother, Larnez, PJ, Denise, Vanessa, I love the way you think. So, Denise, enough of me rambling on. How does this quote land on you?
Oh, this is a heavy one, Grand Rising, everyone. I'm gonna look at it in the lens of a teacher, an educator. For me, I have learned not to tilt my crown for anybody, like the stuff that's out of my control. I had to remember at work, especially when everything was against me, everybody was not doing what they're supposed to do, that my crown had been bought and paid for, and that I could control everything in my classroom, that I didn't have to wait for people to give me permission to be me, to be what I'm supposed to be, to my purpose in this world. Because sometimes you let like administrators, like policies, like people that use power to control what you're supposed to be doing, or because I said so, because I'm the principal, because I'm the assistant principal, I'm the reading specialist, but I'm the ESL specialist. So I know what my students need. I know where they're coming from because I've been there. I am that ESL student. I am that multilingual student that didn't know how to speak English, that needed that love, that they're leading with love. So for me, it wasn't kind of like controlling my classroom. It was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is me. I'm not going to let anybody dictate, because sometimes you let people control how you teach, how you deal with people, how you communicate. And for me, it was people trying to make me look like the angry Black woman in that school because I'm the only teacher of color. And they were like, no, you're supposed to be in this box. They were putting me in this box, like controlling what I'm supposed to do. So for me, it's like PJ said, let them, let me, let God. That's what I lead. Like, let God. If it's supposed to be, I'm supposed to be here for a purpose, and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And as I start letting go of control of thinking, oh, this is what they want me to do, no, what I'm going to do. So my control came on giving my students myself, my authentic self. Um, and things change. And since I was like, let them, let me, this is God's plan. Let God do what's supposed to do. The universe is going to show me what I'm supposed to do. And that's how this landed on me.
Mm.
Believe it or not, this is an introductory lesson to not only the master class, but the history. Because when you look at anything that has ever happened, truly positive to our communities, our neighborhoods, part of our history. When I was leading in with my little tirade about women thinking, um, just think, put any of these ladies in power on this show, put a woman in power and see what happens. She will think things through instead of pushing a button and wanting to take over someone's homeland. Before she would lock up a 5-year-old child and put him in handcuffs and take him away from his parents, she would understand the reaction that's going to have not only on the household or the community, or when you shoot an unarmed man on national television in front of the neighborhood and he is not accountable. A woman's thought process would be, for one, to comfort and love the mother, to bring the family together, to bring the community together, and to find justice within cause and fairness in order to turn the tables around. Us men, we're beautiful creatures when it comes to getting things done, but we're more reactive than thinking things through. All right. And then we have to get people collectively together in order to fix it. So, again, we're going to peel back another layer to a mindset master and see what Larness Kinsey has. But before she starts out, Naheem, if you don't mind giving us this quote again.
Control over my circumstances is but of first importance to me. Without that control, or with that control in someone else's hands, I am forever insecure, doomed to the whim and caprice of the man in control.
Right. We're exercising today our freedom to speak, to think, and to exercise our own opinions, no matter who agrees or who disagrees. But my grandfather always said, education wasn't designed to make you comfortable. Ladies and gentlemen, it's designed to make you think. Go ahead, speak to us, Larness.
Well, Radiant Rising, this was a heavy quote. So let me lean in and talk to you for a second. Sunday mornings hit different when you're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. When your body's rested, but your mind's been running all week, replaying conversations, second guessing decisions, wondering if you're really doing enough with the life you've been given. You wake up and just sit there, not scrolling, not rushing, just breathing. And in that quiet, that truth shows up. You've been carrying more than you admit, smiling through things that weigh on you, telling yourself, I'm good, when you really mean I'm managing. That kind of strength costs something. Here's what I need you to hear today. You don't have to be hard on yourself to be disciplined. You don't have to bleed to prove you're committed. Progress still counts when it's quiet. Healing still counts when there's no claps. Showing up, especially on the days you'd rather disappear, that matters more than people realize. Some of your best work is happening internally. The boundaries you're learning to keep, the thoughts you're finally questioning inside of believing, the moment you choose peace instead of proving your point, that's growth. So today, don't pressure yourself to become something new. Just honor who you're becoming. Drink your coffee slower. Stretch your body. Let the tension drop out of your shoulders. Give yourself credit for surviving what almost broke you and still choosing to move forward. You don't need a miracle this Sunday. You need gentleness. You need truth. You need to remember that you're allowed to take up space in your own life. Tomorrow we grind again, but today you breathe. Today you rest. Today you remember you are still here for a reason, and that's enough for now. And that's how this quote hit me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Control begins with your daily choices. And so now we have come to that part of the show. All right. When we get the voice, which Naheem Garcia will give us not only the quote, but his interpretation. And then me, I'm going to sit there and just toss out whatever's on the top of my head right now and close the show and thank all of you guys for tuning in. And hopefully you enjoy the snowy day. For those of you that are in the sunshine belt, you know, I ain't jealous, but, you should be with us. But anyway, Naheem, if you don't mind, giving us a quote one more time and give your interpretation on how this quote lands on you, bro.
Control over my circumstances is but of first importance to me. Without that control, or with that control in someone else's hands, I am forever insecure, doomed to the whim and caprice of the man in control. I think about South Africa and I think about slavery and I think about how the small group of people were able to control so many. And they did it by planting fear in us when we were little boys and girls. That fear controlled us to the point where In order for us to have control of ourselves, we have to be overwhelming. We have to be so desirable. Sometimes we have to be very selfish. Fear is the only thing that continues to keep us in check. That's why we constantly get these images that are constantly hitting us every 20 seconds. A man getting shot. Now we're watching TV and people are being killed. You know, before it was every cop is killing the black kids or every white person's lynching a black person. But now we're just doing it to each other. It's to the point where you go to school and you see students and they're sitting there and they're getting mad and yelling from the top of their mind that they don't want to read and study, like you trying to do something wrong to me. Because control has taught me that if someone's trying to feed you something good, it ain't good for you. When I see a student that wants to fight a teacher because they don't want to read, they lost control. When they send me into a classroom to control students that just can't behave because they're traumatized and emotionally unbalanced and have no love for not just themselves, but no love for their mama, their daddy, no love for nothing that's good. Because control has told them, you are worthless, you are insecure, you are nobody. Don't worry about it. I got you. The phrase, I got you. We lean on somebody to always have us. But real control comes from just allowing yourself to exist and know that what you have control of is the only thing you can control, and that is your mind and your heart. And if you can't give your mind and your heart communication, then they'll always have control of you. And that's the fear. The only way they can control you is by planting fear in you. And they did it when you was a little boy. And they did it when you was a little girl. And you grow up with that fear and you share that trauma. And they're constantly sharing trauma. We have been traumatized because the trauma keeps us in fear. And when they keep us in fear, they keep us in control. So don't be scared of yourself. Know who you are and know why you're here. Peace.
Peace is power, ladies and gentlemen. Peace is power. So, first of all, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. If you like what you've heard, you can catch us on or find us on our YouTube page at RMK Productions and Networks. It's Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. And so, I'll leave you the option to like, follow, subscribe, or even make comments. I'm giving you that power. So this quote means that true security comes with your own ownership. When you have control over life, it sits in someone else's hands. When you don't have control over something in your life, it sits in someone else's hands. Your peace is conditional then. Control is not about controlling others, taking over someone's homeland, or trying to buy it or option or locking people up. It's about mastering yourself. Without mastering, self-mastering, excuse me, we live in a reactive state internally. This week's quote takes your power back. Control what you can, your efforts, your discipline, your responsibility, your integrity. Stop waiting for permission to live your life fully. When you have your own circumstances, you reclaim your own peace. You were never meant to live at the mercy of someone else. We are all living in a time where lots of people feel tired. All right, I know, Naeem, I get tired sometimes. I don't know about you. Vanessa, you got a bowl of energy. Yeah, I don't think you ever get tired. But I do know the true spirit of when we have conversations with Larnez, Romel, or Denise. All right, we lean on someone when we're tired of reacting, tired of waiting, tired of feeling like life is just happening to them instead of going through it. See, the most dangerous place to live, and I want you to think about this, and I miss Dr. Breakthrough on here, is where your life is in the hands of someone else's control and your circumstances. You may call it some acronym. I don't know what it's, AC hot or whatever the case may be, but when they're in control of your time, control of your peace, control of the direction of your life, control over what you read, control over your history, control over your very self-being. When you look in the mirror and you don't like the color of your skin and whatever, just because someone says it's not right. Because when you have control over someone else's life, or you hand your control over to them, it's the reason why we vote for people thinking they're going to make our life better. Your security becomes temporary. So as confident as you may have felt 4 years ago, think about it. When they get rid of one level of people they want to control, they have to find another level to control. And sooner or later, whatever level you think you're on, all right? Yeah, they're coming. Your security is temporary. Your confidence becomes conditional, and your peace, Naheem, it becomes fragile. And that's why today's quote matters, because your control isn't just about power over people. It's about the power of yourself. It's about owning your own mindset when you think that things are going to go your way, owning your own discipline when motivation runs out, owning your choices when your excuses feel easy. You don't lose peace because life gets hard. You lose peace when you stop leading yourself. Do you want to answer that? All right. And here's the truth. You have these motivational speakers that have these audience, and all of a sudden, the phone rings and everyone stops to see. Let's see who's calling. Go ahead and answer it. All right.
That's control.
That's control.
No, you set my phone on fire. That's what you did.
So, where was my thought? So here's the truth with most people, and most people don't want to hear this. I don't care where you come from, rich, poor, and different. If you don't take the responsibility for your own circumstances, someone else will be gladly to take control of that for you. All right, pull out a carrot and put eyes on it and see what happens today. So today, this isn't about blame. It isn't about anger. This is about agency. It's about deciding right now, no matter what is happening to you, no matter what is happening around you, you will not surrender what's happening within you.
Right.
Because when you control your own response, when you control your own effort, when you control your own integrity, you reclaim the power. And once you reclaim your power, no one can take that away from you. So my grandfather said, and he took control. He says, when you get to the point or a place in life that you can help someone else out, he says your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, this is Kevin, and we do what?
Fade to black.
All right, ladies
Make
and
sure
gentlemen.
you come back.
All right.
Hey.
Until next week. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this show because it was deep today. And again, this is Kevin reminding you that our purpose is whole, helping other people every single day. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week.
Welcome Motivation Sunday with Kevin and friends.